Hello there, I'm Big Alias, and we are going diving headfirst into midnight DJ mode. It's 2 in the morning, and it's 2 in the morning when the clocks went back as well, so it's usually more like 3, and I have just come off of a fat Black Ops sesh, and I want to talk about it. Now, I want to preface this and say this isn't a review. I will get around to the review. This is just something I do. I like to give my initial impressions of the game just after playing a couple of rounds, to be honest. And this is not a couple of rounds. I put a fair few hours into the game, and quite frankly, I have put enough time into the game to review it, but I've barely touched the campaign, and I don't think that I would be doing the game justice if I did, if I did do a review after 2 missions of the campaign. But I will say, so far the 2 missions have actually been pretty good, and I definitely think I need to wait, because goddamn, IGN just gave it a 9 out of 10. They just gave this campaign a 9 out of 10. That's crazy. Apparently we're back when it comes to Call of Duty. But I want to talk about this multiplayer experience and how I felt about it coming straight off the bat after this big long sesh. And I gotta say, it's weird. It's so old school. This feels so old school, despite the fact that there are changes that I'll get to when I get to the review. You know, we've got the Omni movement and stuff like that, and a lot of the modern touches are there, but for some reason this just feels so old school. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I'm not being negative in any way. I like that, and I'm also not saying that it means that the game is great. It's subjective, and I don't think, I'm not expecting everyone to have the same experience as me, but so far it just feels like how it felt when I first played Black Ops 1, and I really cannot tell you why. I guess one thing that I'm learning about this game and gaming and feelings in general is that nostalgia doesn't, I guess it doesn't just come down to an audio visual experience. Nostalgia comes down to a setup, to an approach, and a give and take when it comes to what you're experiencing. And a lot of the changes from the past 2 games to this game have been a simplification, but also a sort of user experience improvement, and one that harkens back to the old days of Call of Duty. In that, we've got the old school. I'm going to keep going on about it, but I'm playing this game for the first time during launch week. And there's no feeling that I better slow down because I don't want to level up too quickly. No, I want to grind it out, so that I can get to max prestige. There's no sense that, I have to pull the brakes because they're going to take prestiges away. Well, because I have to wait for prestiges. And it also means that I get to not feel incredulous and cynical towards the game, because they've taken that away from me. And again, in terms of progression, I just feel as though you have a weapon and then you level up and you unlock new weapons and you do some stuff and you get camos and you level up your weapon and you get you get optics and attachments, and the attachments actually do positive things. They're not, you don't go, oh well, I would put this on, but the red is bigger than the green. And I'm one of those people where I won't put an attachment on or really commit to anything in a video game unless it's completely understood that this will only be beneficial to me. And because I'm that person, I've never really gravitated towards attachments in those previous games, and in this game, this is the first time in a long time where I've properly customized my gun and I've tweaked it to how I want it to perform, and it's definitely a noticeable difference. And because we're not just drowned in weapons, we're not just swimming in all of these weapons, the weapons that we do unlock sort of stand out a lot more, just like they used to in the old games. And the same can be said for a lot of this. It became very bloated, I think, Call of Duty prior to this, and I still think it is. I still think a lot of the stuff here is quite bloated. But this simplification and this boiling down, which is kind of similar to what they did with Cold War, I think is really beneficial to making this feel like a classic Call of Duty experience. And the same could be said for the maps. The maps are just your standard Call of Duty fare, standard layout, standard design. I will say that this environmentally, I think, is the best looking Call of Duty yet. Some of the environments are very good looking. I forgot how much foliage was in that derailed train map, and I really like the lighting in this game. A lot of people aren't talking about it. The color palette is so intense in this game, and the lighting is very intense too. That skyline map has ridiculous lighting, but I really shouldn't get into that because it should be for the review. But overall, in terms of the maps, I'm not blown away, but I'm happy. I'm still happy that I'm not blown away. It's still a solid set of maps, and that's kind of all I wanted. I kind of knew that I wouldn't be blown away, and also I'd rather have this solid bunch of maps that I have now than a bunch of maps that like blow me away. But again, I should really get into that, when it comes to the review. But all of these things accumulate, right? All of these things, they amalgamate into. It just feels like an old school experience. It feels like old times. And I know this is, the honeymoon period. I completely understand that. But I will say that my sense of nostalgia for this game is stronger than my sense of nostalgia for Modern Warfare 3, which is a remaster of a game I played when I was a teenager. And yet the feeling that I have playing this game is the same as the feeling I had playing a game 14 years ago. 14 freaking years ago when I was a teen, it's kind of mind-blowing, and I hope it stays this way. I really do. I can't see it staying this way, but it's definitely awesome, and I am having a blast with the game. I cannot put this multiplayer down, and I will say, at first it did take a little bit of like getting used to the Omni movement. For some reason, I don't know why, but I got used to it a bit quicker in the beta, and here it does get take a bit of getting used to, but once you do, it feels great. The flow in this game is really immaculate at the moment. Well, in my opinion, anyway. Barring a couple of the maps, I really do think the gameplay is just so good. The gameplay is just so fun. It's so fun, and I forgot how there's little things, right, that Treyarch do, like the way that it smacks an enemy with that sound when you hit them. I love that, dude. I really love that, and I didn't get that same sensation. Maybe it was there, but I didn't experience it from those, the Modern Warfare games. I'm having a very good time so far. I'm having an absolute blast with the game. I'm very much addicted to it. I just play it, and then 2 hours have gone, right? I don't even look at the time, and 2 hours have disappeared, and I'm playing this game. It's a lot of fun, and very consistent fun, so I'm hoping this stays the way it is. I will keep you updated when it comes to the review. I'm going to play through the campaign soon, I promise, and then we'll do a proper review. But right now, so far, I'm having a lot of fun with this game. I really am having a blast, and it definitely feels like one that I want to sink my teeth into. And it's just, is anyone else getting the same experience? That it just feels really old school, right? It does, right? Tell me I'm not crazy. Anyway, I'll see everyone later.
The PlayStation is only $149, and you can also get leading titles.